Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. We're streaming already, are we?
Everybody's eager to go.
It's paused.
And Des is actually himself tonight.
Eating a slush here with a nice little suit jacket on.
So Ray, Steve, and Kurt are all unavailable this evening, so just wait for Alana and Paul, and then do we know who Samsung Galaxy is? Is that Lee's?
No, it's Rick.
Oh, okay. So did anyone try the background?
Nope.
I tried. Unless I think if you had a green screen, it would work, but otherwise you just become kind of a mirrory part of the background. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I've got a green screen hookup. I should try that out then.
Yeah, just to test it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done the backgrounders on yours?
I haven't done them on this one yet. I've only done them on like Twitch TV when I'm streaming video games. So I kind of blend into the video game background. You just see my head pop up from the bottom. Oof, man, go to Northmart and get these. Really sugary.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's something else. I figure I'll get my endorsements out of the way before we go.
Oh, there we go. I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll just wait a bit before I phone in.
Sure.
Stephanie, I'm not too sure what's with yours because it's got you in, but then it also said it had you twice, and so it's trying to join again. I'm not too sure what that's about. Okay, there we go. So the next thing on the list is to find shades for all the windows. It's a little warm up here.
You know, my office has been pretty warm too with the new windows. So.
On the list to get to this week. Fortunately, most of them are all the same size, so it's just a relatively simple thing of getting something.
It'd be cool to see like vinyls or some kind of decal on the window as opposed to just a traditional blind, right? That way you're still letting some light in while getting that blockage and privacy.
I'll see what's in the budget.
Yeah, the last, like my office window had a tint on it, which took down some of the light, but it still needed the blind. The sun is so intense, right?
Just use a garbage bag.
I was gonna say tinfoil, darn it. I mean, we don't have tourists coming in this summer anyway, right? We could just use tinfoil or garbage bags for now.
No.
Or not.
Wow. The second ingredient here is high fructose corn syrup and then sugar. Ugh.
Well, it should keep you awake anyway.
Welcome to Northwest Bell. Thank you.
What's your shirt, Des? Is that Dead North?
After the tone, please state your name, followed by the pound sign.
Council chambers.
Thank you. You are the first participant to join the conference. Please stand by.
Hello.
Oh. Oops. All right. We have quorum. Just give Alana a minute to see if she joined.
Yep. So I'm just going to flip over to YouTube right now and just start the video feed.
Alana.
Good evening, Alana.
Hey, Grant.
Hi, Lana.
Hello.
All right, so are we running now, Grant?
It says that we are, but it doesn't look, well, I don't see, it just says my name, which is unfortunate, but let me just check.
So are we running now, Grant?
It looks like it. It says that we are, but it doesn't look, well, I don't see
Oh.
it says my name, which is unfortunate, but oh, we're back to this. Hang on. There we go.
Okay. 7 o'clock on the dot. We'll call to order. We do have a couple changes to the agenda. There are 2 tenders that will be added for Wednesday under 8.4 and 8.5. These were passed through the Public Works Committee meeting and just didn't make it into the agenda. So Grant will get that together for us for Wednesday. Were there any other questions or changes to the agenda as council has seen it? Seeing none, lots of shaking heads. All right. Declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest. Seeing none. Delegations, presentations, or petitions. We do have the RCMP report. I did speak with Detachment Commander Tom earlier or late last week. But most of the information is here in the document. If there's any questions or comments on the document. Seeing none. All right, public question period. I'm not aware of anything that we've received. Grant, can you confirm?
I did not receive anything.
Okay. So on to adoption of the minutes. 6.1, the minutes of the May 11th and 13th, 2020 council meetings. Were there any questions or comments on these minutes? Councillor Wood. You're muted, Councillor Wood.
Under 8.1, has there been any response from MACA regarding the boarded revision yet?
I was in discussion with them today, and we are in the process of coming up. They've now figured out a method. So the next set of things is to appoint the board and get going on it. But they have just this morning informed me of how they want to go about doing it.
Maybe you could send us an email on that.
Once I find out, confirm a couple of things, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Because we do have to find out, we have to have a council representative on that board, and then we'll bring it forward with all the other board members to be appointed, but they only have to be appointed at any time prior to the meeting. There's no time period before, so you could quite literally appoint them 5 minutes before the council got to appoint them 5 minutes before the board of revision.
All right, thank you. Anything further on the minutes? Seeing none, on to 6.2, the minutes of the May 20th Public Works Committee meeting. Any questions or comments? Councillor Wood?
Must be my night. On 3.3, Grant, have you gotten any feedback or done any research on the turbines,
No,
the ones in the water pipes?
nope.
You plan on doing that shortly, or? I guess
I will. I will
work.
have the other, but right at this point in time, with the other items, with capital projects and a couple of things we're looking at, the last few days has been internally up most of our time trying to, certainly from the public works side, with the utility project probably not going ahead. We're trying
That's what I was going to say. It's not really urgent now because of the lack of utility work this year, but normally it would be a good idea to get moving on it.
Well, we're certainly going to look at it and appreciate it. It's just between the last 3 days. Again, we have a meeting with the engineer on Wednesday.
Okay, thanks for that, Grant.
All right, thank you. Anything further on the Public Works Committee meeting minutes? I'm seeing none. On to the Administration Committee meeting minutes. Questions or comments on those? Councilor McDonald or Deputy Mayor McDonald?
Just following up with regards to Grant, you were going to look into some of the items we had in 4.4B. Just wondering if that's been done, although I understand it's been busy, but had to do with residential cleanup, which we need to discuss today as well.
I have not had a chance to look at that part, no. 4.4. But that was in the policy, correct? And we haven't looked at the policy yet.
That is correct.
Yeah, so we haven't looked at it. We'll review it and bring it back to council or to the next admin committee meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Anything further on these minutes? I'm seeing none. Onto the action items list. There was one, item number 4 was for me to look into. I have reached out to the manager at the warming shelter, but I've not received a response yet. I did follow up today and just haven't heard back. I know that they do have a new manager, and so I still have to officially meet that person in some capacity. But on that item, I don't have an update for you as of tonight. So were there any other questions on the action items? See none. Okay. On to 8.1, the annual spring cleanup. So this would be anything that we go ahead with tonight would be under what was if there was an old policy or just old kind of what we've done for the last few years. We would be looking at changing some of the processes in the upcoming review of the beautification policy. But of course, council has options to make any changes in here. So I'll open it to discussion. Was there anyone who wanted to speak? Councillor Wood.
What's our plans for the community zone cleanup this year, keeping in mind the social distancing? One person suggested maybe we could do a type of family cleanup where family members get together.
Hmm.
Well, you can't outside have groups of 25 along with the social distancing, or if social distancing isn't possible, the alternative is to have that anybody participating would have to have masks on. Like I said, we're still working on what the rules would be for that, for it, and coming up with under what the public order would be on it.
I'm sure you're up with something. It's probably quite challenging right now.
I would just add that having done the zone cleanup as a participant in the past, to be perfectly honest, you're not much closer than 6 feet ever to another participant if you're really getting, you know, kind of section by section done in your zone. So while I do think that making sure that the restrictions are in place and if masks are available is important, but as a general way of doing the cleanup, person-to-person contact isn't all that common. So, anything further on this item? I'm sure there's some discussion. Go ahead, Amina.
In the past, I think for the beautification, people had to go down to the town office, didn't they, to enter that?
They would coordinate at now there's two things there. You're talking about the zone cleanup or the beautification? Because the beautification, we would put the applications online.
Okay, that's perfect. Good. Yeah, because we didn't want people going to the office, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Grant.
All right. Any further discussion? I'm seeing none. Okay. On to 8.2, the municipal complaints policy. This was a policy that I kind of asked if we could get going and reached out to NWTAC to see what they kind of have on the books for this type of document. And then our administration was able to take that template that they provided and create what we have in front of us, which I think is a really good document. But of course, open to conversation, questions, anything on this item. Deputy Mayor McDonald.
I'd just like to say, reading thoroughly through this document, the administration did an excellent job creating this for ease of the public to be able to fill it in and submit their complaints. So well done to the administration on this one.
Thank you. Anything further on the document? I'm seeing none. On to 8.3, the Management Code of Conduct. This is an updated version of an older document. Removes some of the genders that were in the document and then also clarifies a few things. Were there any questions or comments on the Management Code of Conduct? I am seeing none. All right, so like I say, on Wednesday, we will have, I believe, 2 tenders under 8.4 and 8.5. So we will see those before the meeting, but we'll be able to discuss those further on Wednesday evening. We have nothing under bylaws this evening, so under department head reports, 10.1 is the variance report. Were there any questions or comments on the report? I am seeing none. All right, we under strategic priorities or information items, we have our strategic priorities chart, which I did send out last week for review. If you've council can get back to me with their ideas, suggestions, or just any input on the document, I would appreciate that. And we will look at either trying to have a meeting if needed, or just updating the document as we have our discussions through email and what have you in the coming weeks. So with that, we can move to council concerns. I did have a couple of things to bring up myself. I'd first like to acknowledge this little letter, which you won't be able to see, but which went out in the post boxes of all of Inuvik's residents from our municipal enforcement department, doing basically proactive letters to the residents about ATV operation in town. I just want to acknowledge that this is a great initiative, and I think that I've already had RCMP tell me that they appreciate seeing this as well. So kudos to that team. The other couple things I wanted to ask, as of right now, we do not have a meeting scheduled until June 24th because previously the meetings of the 8th and 10th had been canceled for the Arctic Development Expo. I would like to suggest that we do actually have a meeting on the 10th. There's a few items that we can do some housekeeping with on that evening. It'll be department head reports. And then there's also a couple of in-camera items that we'd be able to take care of that night. Because it was a pre-scheduled meeting, Grant's just gonna check to make sure if we have to pass anything to have it, or if we have to call it a special, or what that will look like. But really it's going to be a rescheduling of a regular meeting. So if anyone has anything opposition to that, I guess it just helps us. Otherwise that meeting on the 24th is going to be super packed, right? So seems okay. And then my last question here is actually to Lise or Grant or Rick. I know that some of the crew was out today cleaning up the playgrounds. Are they officially open, and are we going to have some social media stuff to go out to say that they're open now?
We're just in the preliminary stages. Obviously, we're doing what we normally do at the beginning of the year, anyways, cleaning up. We are investigating we've heard different options of what different municipalities are doing with playgrounds everywhere in the territory, from not doing any disinfection or any cleaning. And we are looking at Hay River, what they are doing, because they have a plan out that's been approved. So again, we shall look and see what their plan is. We're just trying to get a hold of it right now. I would say that technically the playgrounds can be open. It's just a question of caution with people, because it is that time of year as well, and we haven't had a chance to clean them all up after the snows melted as well.
Okay, thank you. Anything further under council concerns? Councillor Wood and then Deputy Mayor McDonald.
Very briefly, have we, or are we going to be putting a notice out to the general public regarding bears in town again this year? I see one was seen up in Bumpus the other day, so.
We can. Usually
I know ENR normally does this anyway, but I think it would be a good idea if we did it as well.
Okay.
Like, you mean just sharing the bear phone line and stuff like that? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Deputy Mayor McDonald?
My question is for the fire chief. In regards to municipal enforcement, I've had some questions when they'll resume normal duties and traffic enforcement beyond dog and pet control in Inuvik. Do you have any updates on that?
Actually, they are starting to do that already. You will see them on the streets now. They've already started in the last couple of weeks. And they will continue their regular duties, again, understanding that they will be taking precautions and practicing their physical distancing. And also in terms of trial dates, there's already been some coordination that way as well to resume regular operations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
So thank you, Cindy, Fire Chief. for SAO Hood, since our public works officer isn't here, just pass on to you. They may want to do a walk when it dries up a little bit on the boot trail. There's a lot of damage out there, and I believe NTPC has wiped out a large section of our trail, including some of our brand new signs that have been installed. So there's a ton of damage on the far side of the lake when I was walking through there, and it's almost impassable at the moment, but I think it needs to be looked into.
It is part of our regular maintenance that we'll be going out looking. We usually do the playgrounds first, and then because there are areas that traditionally are a little wetter on the trail. The other thing we were looking at is from a resource point of view, although we've done some review in the last week or so as far as manpower resources to be able to accomplish that given the situation this year and the budget that we're trying to present at some point in time here. But I will make a note of it, and we will have somebody get out there and take a look and just see what we have.
Okay, my apologies. I didn't realize on my screen here that Samsung Galaxy was Mr. Campbell. So I'm glad he's heard it, and thank you very much for your response. I do have one last item. The last item is with regards to our Zoom meetings. Since they're online, we've gone digital. Can we please put out on our website access to our council packages that say draft copy? So those at home that are following us and do want to read along with the information that we have in front of us can do so.
Do you want the full package or the agenda?
Well, they should be able to see the full package. We have nothing to hide, and it's good for the people to be able to scroll through and read prior to our council meetings for those that have taken a keen interest now that we are online.
I will take a look at what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do.
Okay, I would just remind us that we do pass out a media package that appears to me to be the exact same as our council package. So if we're able to give it to the media, I don't see why we can't give it to the general public, but I'll leave that to you to look into. Thank you.
The media package is distributed right before the meeting. It's not sent out like when the normal package is sent. So just so you're aware.
Oh, I'm very content with that. But posting on the website a few minutes before we even go online would be fair, as well as if you're coming into our council meeting to sit down, there would be a package available. Same thing could happen for our Inuvik website. But I'll leave that with you once again. Thank you.
Yes, typically it's just the agenda, but I will check into it.
Thank you. Anything further under council concerns this evening? I'm seeing none, hearing none. We do not have any in camera this evening, so I will look for a motion to adjourn. Do I need a motion tonight?
No.
Okay, then we are adjourned. Thank you. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.